Welcome back. Hello, Port Harcourt. Good morning to you. It's the time right now for our major conversation this morning on the show. We started out this morning inside rivers that we paid a very particular attention to one of the most challenging situations a lot of rivers residents have been experiencing. It had to do with multiple taxation. I'd like to thank all of you for your contribution, and those of you who actually sent us messages, thank you very much across all the platforms. Deeply appreciate you as you have weighed in on the conversation. And then we got to our previous conversation about 10 a.m. this morning, where we talked about the girl child, and I think we've had over 8 or 10 requests on WhatsApp and across other personal folders of mine to have that conversation tomorrow. So yes, tomorrow 11 o'clock, that will be our major conversation about the sex of a child, particularly sexual preference in children. And I will bring back that story, share it with you, and let's have a proper discussion. Let's see if we can as well rub minds and educate one another. That will be for 11 o'clock tomorrow, Thursday. You do not want to miss it. But now, on this hour, we are taking a very close attention, another deep dive, if I may say so, into the cost of education. Now, like everything Nigerians have been experiencing in the past 6 months in particular, the cost of running your business as well as a student has has significantly increased. We've had people calling, telling us how much they spend on transportation, on feeding. If you remember, there's a gentleman who called from one of the villages around and said, hey, look, in his station, he spent about 1,000 a day, and it's not even enough for him to feed. 300 naira for food with soup these days goes almost nowhere. But this morning, please hold on to your wallets, okay? And hold on maybe to your chest and to your trousers, because we're going to be revealing some very shocking figures this morning. Now, I have a question, and the question is twofold. Now, the primary question is this: why is secondary school education in Nigeria more expensive than tertiary? Why is secondary school education more expensive than tertiary school education? Why? What exactly is the challenge? Why do we have that notion that, not even notion, why do we have the figures showing that if you want to get your child into a good primary or secondary school, you're going to spend a lot of money as opposed to tertiary education? And we often hear people, cringe, call for demonstrations in the past when school fees in several state and federal universities were revised upwards. Why exactly is this education of our young people, particularly children between primary and secondary? So we're looking at ages 2-3 up until about 14 or 17, between 14 and 17, because these days some people graduate from secondary school, high school in some cases, at the age of 14, 15, 16, 17. In fact, you'll be hard pressed these days to find a 17-year-old who is in SS3. More often than not, they've just graduated or they're in their first year in the university. So, one of the best ways of inculcating independence in your child is to get them enrolled into the best schools, hopefully you can afford, where they will get healthy values for productive adult living. Now, one of the methods of education that has proven effective for generations has been the boarding system, sending your children to boarding school. I went to a boarding school. My brothers, I think we all went to boarding schools. What am I saying? We all went to boarding schools. The boarding school setting enables your child, to take up residence in a hostel facility and learn to take care of themselves. It's really a great platform to, have your child or children interact, socialize, learn whilst being in the same environment with other children. Now, that being said, there are challenges. There are some people who have gone through the boarding house system and we're not able to still become great or supporting adults in society. Why? Some boarding schools, do virtually everything for the child. They tell the child when to wake up, even when the child is about 15 or 16. There are alarm bells. And some children, I know I went to a boarding school, when they get back home, they want to leave everything about school back in school. So it's a very interesting method. And you find out sometimes people go through school, but school does not go through them. Now, please sit back, ladies and gentlemen, and let me start to reel out some numbers for you. I'm going to start here with Ondo State University Medical Sciences school fees, and this is a report here from Nigerian Price. Okay, so let's get to look at the school fees for Ondo State University of Medical Science, the school, right? Those of you who want to study medicine and medical sciences. All right, now course medicine and surgery, dentistry and dental surgery. Now for your 100 level, you are likely to pay about 250,000 naira. Now if you're coming in as a direct entry student, 200 level, you're going to pay 310,000 naira, right? Then for your 400 and 500 level, you pay between 350 to 360,000 naira. Then in your 600 level, it's your final year, you would pay about 380,000 naira. Now, it gets more interesting as the fees are higher for, in quotes, non-indigents, which is why a lot of Nigerians have been asking for this particular description to be discarded. So for non-indigents, for 100 level, you pay 300,000 naira. For 400 level, 400,000 naira. Then for your 600 level school fees, you would pay 430,000 naira. Please mark this down, okay? That's for Ondo State University. Now let's come to the University of Port Harcourt. I think I saw that somewhere earlier on. Where is it? Come on. Where's Uniport? Okay, all right. So let me open one of the private universities, one of the premier private universities in Nigeria. This is Igbonejan University. All right. Tuition 610,000 naira. Accommodation 175,000 naira. They said here other charges, as if you're coming in for medicine now, other charges 110,000 naira. So in total, you will be spending 895,000 naira, right, for your child to come into medicine, 100 level, 895,000 naira. Then for banking and finance, you pay just about 715,000 naira. For law, you would pay 895,000 naira as school fees. For that's a private university now, right? I need to find University of Port Harcourt. I had bookmarked it. Where is that? Okay, all right. So let's get to look at University of Abuja. All right, let's look at the University of Abuja. All right, school fees as of 2021. University of Abuja school fees. All right, school fees. University of Abuja. Acceptance, IT, everything comes under about for biological and geological sciences comes under 42,300 naira. Right, for non-sciences you pay about 39,000, 40,000 naira. For other sciences you pay about 21,000, 20,000 naira. All right, so okay, here we go. Uniport school fees That's according to this website now. According to this website, Nigerian price. Okay. Now, plus or minus, there could be variances. I'm not saying this is the exact fees you pay at the moment, but according to this website, this is what you pay. Now, listen. All right. So we listed about 3 schools, right? I hope you've written them down. For a fresh student, it's about 127,000 naira. Okay. For 200 level up until your final year, you pay about 45,000 naira. Okay. So obviously, the private universities are paying very, 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 very high fees. About 800 and something thousand naira for school fees. That's for private universities. All right. Uniport here to start is about 125. Then as you go through, it's sub 50,000 naira. Right. So we have that. We've seen that. Ladies and gentlemen, that's for tertiary schools now. Let me welcome you to primary schools and some secondary schools right now. All right. The American International School, location, VI, curriculum, American. Initial fees, 14 million naira. 14 million naira. Then, for the other terms, you pay about 5.5 million naira. The list goes on and on. I have about 20 schools here. These are primary and secondary schools. In fact, one of the schools here, they pay 5 million naira to start, 2.5 million naira to continue. This is primary and secondary school. Ladies and gentlemen, our young children these days, and I don't know how, apparently are costing more in private schools than in other forms of education, particularly tertiary education. The private school I made mention of here, they pay 890 something thousand naira. But there is a private school. In fact, there are private schools in Lagos, in Abuja, where some parents, where some Nigerians, right, are paying about 15 million naira a year for their primary school education. Primary and secondary school education. Now, to top all of this morning, I'm taking my time to say this because I really want everybody to get into this in this hour, this morning. To top all of this, let me maybe shock you. Some of you already know this. Do you know that there are some Nigerians who have their children from primary school? They live in Nigeria. From primary school, they have their children in primary schools in the UK, and they pay upwards of about 5,000 to 6,000 pounds. 5,000 to 6,000 pounds as school fees per year. So they send their children who are primary school students, about 8 or 9 years old, they send them to a boarding house. They stay there. Then during the holidays, they come back to Nigeria. All for education. So, why exactly are these primary and secondary school students, these schools, demanding more than tertiary facilities? And obviously, the underlying factor for all of us is, how did education, particularly primary education, become so expensive in Nigeria? Ladies and gentlemen, hello Port Harcourt. It's a pleasure to be here this morning with you.
Real stories, real people. Nigeria Info. Let's talk.
So 0817-923-0002, 0817-923-0003, 0817-923-0007, and then the female caller line is 0817-923-0009. Our WhatsApp and Telegram number is 0809-030-6416, 0809-030-6416. If you get on social media at Nigeria Info PH, at Nigeria Info PH is the handle to follow this morning. And then if you need, just in case you're having challenges across, you can also send us a message on that number, talking about an SMS message, 0809-030-6416. Sat down reading all of this throughout yesterday. I have been shaking in my boots. How do we pay for these kind of fees? Nigerians, by the way. Hello, Port Harcourt. Good morning.
Good morning to you, my very good friend Jude.
Welcome.
This is Mr. Zion.
Thank you for joining us. Good morning.
I will categorically tell you this morning that one essence we send our children to school is not basically for academics.
Okay.
It's to dump them there for a little while and later we'll come and see them.
Oh.
And these schools have understood this philosophy. That is why, if you notice, the kindergartens and the creche, very expensive. Because they know the philosophy that the essence why the child is here, the mother is looking for who will take care of him or her for me. Why I'm at work, I'm school or business, facing my career. So that is just the secret about it. And you ask yourself, what is a 2-year-old child doing in school? 3 years, 4 years, what are they doing there? When our fathers were enrolled in school and they get to us, you must put your hand across your head.
Yeah, yes.
If it doesn't touch your ear,
you're not ready for school. Apparently.
And what do you think that means?
But the times have changed. We can't keep doing things in one way forever. That's why change is inevitable.
And
there are better ways to do things.
Because the time have changed, that is why they are paying exorbitant fees. In my place of work, a lot of people here are guilty of what you just narrated. Morning, sir. Where you will see them in dollars and in pounds. In fact, I'm one of the guys that have access to these bureaus guys that come to the office. I give them access. Where are you going to? Oh, so. They come in pounds and dollars for exchange for send to their children abroad. Investing massively. The truth is this. For me, it doesn't help us as a people. Socially, it doesn't help us. As a country, it doesn't help us. Even individually, it doesn't help us.
Well, pause. I need to ask you, what do you mean it doesn't help us? Because if like some of the schools I made mention of, right, I didn't read all their names, but some of them in Lagos and Abuja, where the primary and secondary school costs as much as 5 million naira a year for you to send your child to school. My question is this: they will tell you that the curriculum they use, the activities that they engage their children to, make them sound human beings. If you are paying that kind of school fees and you hear your child now knows how to swim, knows how to play the guitar, knows how to play the violin, knows how to even climb the mountain, and you even start to do geomapping at the age of 10, wouldn't you be pleased?
And you isolate only your children to such benefits. What about the other children?
Are you saying the parents should now pay for everybody on their street because they can afford to?
I am still giving you a simple mathematics. The 5 million, 6 million we spend for one child. If we can divert one of that 6 million to one of the unity schools, you and I, okay, not me and you now, our parents, our parents benefited and graduated from. There will not be curfew today. Everybody will be at home by 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock. Mr. Zion.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. Zion. What you make of that? You have your money, so if you decide to send your child, and it's a dream of virtually every parent I know, to be able to send their child or their children to the very best educational facilities that they can afford, which once again, sadly, I'm so sad to say this, brings us back to what exactly has happened to those unity schools, to the federal government school, to the state government schools. Do you know what 5 million naira today is? Hello, Port Harcourt. Good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning. Welcome, please.
Morning. My name is Bright Wish. I'm calling from Omamegbe.
Welcome, Bright.
Let me tell you, one of the reasons why they spend that money, not really, okay, you talked about learning violin and guitar and other things. What does that thing have to do with the progress of the society, more especially Nigeria? Then apart from that, most of those funds they pay for their children's school fees are stolen funds.
Well, Bright, that's a spurious claim, because there's so many parents who are able to pay these fees.
Hello?
Bright,
can you hear me?
Yes, repeat that, please.
I don't know politicians' children,
okay.
90% of them.
Okay.
I was opportune to supervise WAEC. I know some of the schools in Port Harcourt that pay 1 million, 3 million for school fees, secondary school.
Wow.
They are all politicians' children. So let me tell you again. Now, most of the things they learn, they are apart from when they come out from school, they only work in their parents' company, which is construction company. At the end of the year, of spending those millions upon millions, what have you achieved? They will still work in your own company or bank. So even an ordinary person that went to Uniport will compete with you, probably in every aspect of the field. So they are just there wasting money. There's nothing. I'm in education. I can tell you the truth.
So you are saying those who are paying for private schools is waste of funds? Because this issue of private schools, it's not just in Nigeria, even in the UK. Come on, the elites, the higher echelons, of power, those who work on the corridors therein, they all have a private school, an etiquette class, for their sons and their daughters. It's not unusual. Virtually everywhere there's a private school everywhere, and the idea is to give the very best. There are specialist schools for gifted children, geniuses. Not because they won't separate them from everybody, but because these children are seen to be able to do quicker or learn quicker or have a vast ability than the average child. So you have to test them to the upper limits. So you have to separate them. 90.3. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
Good morning. Welcome, please.
Yes, my name is Gerard.
Welcome, Gerard. Hello, Port Harcourt. It's a pleasure to have you here this morning.
Oh, the pleasure is mine, sir. Yes, the amount they pay for school fees. Talk about the rich, the people that pay 5 million, 6 million. That is because our government schools are not standard. If we build our government schools to that standard, and if those people that are paying up to 5 million, 6 million, 7 million for a child will bring in that money into the school, government schools, to equip the government school to the standard of those schools, you will see the cost of education will be cheaper than what we are spending individually.
Okay, all right.
I don't know if you get me.
I totally understand you. Once again, it's more or less say what first caller made mention that, hey, look, if you have that money, why don't we collectively put that money into our unity schools or the schools that we all grew up in and improve them. Now, there are some private schools, and I'm sure some of these administrators are listening this morning. There are some private schools that obviously don't charge that much. 1 million or whatever for primary schools and secondary schools. But the question still remains, why exactly are these schools more expensive than the tertiary schools, apart from the private universities? And I could comfortably reel out a few other private university figures, but I used one. I'm going to use that one as the standard. So just about 700. I know some private universities where they pay about 400,000, 500,000. Others pay upwards of 3 or 4 or 5 million upwards in this country. But on the average, it seems as though that primary, what you call basic education, is becoming increasingly more expensive. And why? Why is it more expensive than those who are getting into the university? We are all struggling. Everybody, I wrote JAM, 4 or 5 times. People are trying to get into university. There's a struggle. Yet these primary and secondary schools these days apparently cost more than what some of us had spent in the entire 5, 6, or 7 years in school. All the monies your parents gathered to train you right now. For some people, it's not up to 1 million naira. Let's be very honest. But here we are. Those same people from that generation are now spending upwards of 1 million to send their beloved children to school. That doesn't seem like a fair equation now, does it? Hello, Port Harcourt. Good morning.
Hello, good morning, Jude.
Good morning. Good morning. We have about 30 seconds. Quickly, let's hear from you, please.
Jude, my first question is this. I want to ask. It's not the same WAEC they used to write.
My brother,
both the one that went for 5 billion, 10 million, the one that went for 60,000 or 30,000, even public schools.
My brother, I don't
It's the same WAEC, the same curriculum, just that people boast of my children go to 5 million naira school, they team the school, put AC, put extra curriculum, whatever.
Yeah, but is that extra?
They have the British, American, Ghana, whatever. It's the same WAEC you will write.
Yes.
It's the same thing.
But
if
the
me
extracurricular activities.
3 million naira, like my brother, I tell you, I will touch many lives. I will pay so many school fees.
So you would not. Let me ask. So wait, you would not.
I need to touch many lives and pay school fees for many people.
So you will not take your beloved child to a good school.
Everywhere, like go to America, British, Ghana, whatever curriculum. It is the same why it does not change.
Okay, all right. It doesn't change. Right, he claims, and these are his claims now, that they will rather use that money, if they have the money, to change the lives of other people in the compound or in the community, right? But the value of your education can really not be overestimated. Once again, if you get to meet an individual who has been trained in a school where he's taught multiple languages, he's taught the very latest in technological advances, and also life sciences, and also interactions, you are definitely going to find a huge difference between that individual and the person who has just been memorizing facts and figures. What does you do? Bottom of the hour, headline news.
Stay with us. Nigeria Info. We'll be back.
Do you want to know more about Nigeria? Tune in to Nigeria Info.
92.3.
Headline News, Nigeria Info on
92.3.
Headline News.
Hello, good morning. I am Ifeemi Andrew. Federal government wades into face-off between Kaduna State government, labor unions. Acting Inspector General of Police Alkali Baba Usman to visit River State today. Family of the only surviving policeman in Elungbu police station attack calls for police government assistance. On the foreign scene, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu says no backing down in fighting with Palestinian militants. In business, Nolge threatens strike over attack on NLC peaceful protest in Kaduna State. In entertainment, Burna Boy says is not a Nigerian artist, even though he's from Nigeria. In sports, Leicester City superstar Kelechi Iheanacho makes history as first Premier League striker to score on all 7 days of the week in a single season. Contact our newsroom on 0818 900 0017. Thank you for your time.
All right, so welcome back to the show. It's the final 24 minutes on the program this morning. My name is Jude, and this hour we're looking at the cost of education in this country. And I have a question, and the second part of the question I'm going to realize right about now. So why exactly are secondary schools, basic education now, secondary schools and primary schools now more expensive on the average than tertiary education? So if you're paying 1 million naira right now, if you listen to us now, no prejudice, by the way, if you're paying 1 million naira as school fees for your son or your daughter in a private secondary school or primary school right now, and somebody's paying, I don't know, 140,000 naira school fees, right, in the university, that means with that 1 million naira, that person can comfortably go to school with that money for about 4 or 5 years with pocket money and, you know, housing allowance and all those kind of things included as well. But why is the primary school education, secondary education as well, so expensive? We want to find out. We want to get to hear from you this morning. Hello, Port Harcourt. 08179230002, 08179230003, 08179230007, and then the female caller line is 08179230009. Hello, Port Harcourt. Good morning. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Jude.
Hello, Port Harcourt. Good morning.
Hello, Port Harcourt. How are you?
Very well. Thank you very much for calling. Good morning, please.
I want to start by saying the Mercedes-Benz was discovered by Carl Benz. And he didn't go to school. Toyota was discovered by Eugene Toyota in 1937. He didn't go to school. The first aircraft was manufactured by 2 bicycle repairers. They didn't go to school. Then what is the need of now people paying $500,000 or 1 million or more than that at the private schools? Though I will say that one of the reasons is because of the degree of their computer knowledge exposure to the students that they teach.
Okay.
But the money is right now exorbitant.
Is it?
Another point too is because of the huge amount of money that they pay to the federal, state, and local government as taxes to operate their private schools. That is another factor. But no matter the factor, the money is too much. Because when we have been in this country, all these people paying this 1 million, 2 million, those that graduated from those private schools, have they been able to manufacture cars beginning from upper level? So it's too much. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much. This is too much. But authors tell you, well, it is the value that is being paid for. That's the worth. Once again, I know of a few individuals who have children in some of these schools. One of those schools in Abuja, where they pay about 2-something million naira as school fees. So let me quickly run through what they do. Apart from the usual teaching them how to read and write, all right, they're exposed obviously to the internet. These days, they're exposed to computer basic programs as early as 8 or 9 in some of these schools. You have swimming lessons. Yes, you have music lessons. Not only do you have music lessons, there's more arts and crafts. The proper arts and crafts that were meant to have been taught back in primary school, but these schools are able to afford them, so they give them materials. They are taught how to tie and dye. They have excursions. They don't just go to defunct or derelict buildings. They actually go to places. In fact, one of those schools in Abuja, I remember 5 years ago, took the entire class of about 40 persons abroad. It was part of their excursion. They had to go and visit a waterfall. I won't tell you where, but imagine the waterfalls you have in Nigeria. They took these children there. That is enriching the lives of the children. That is all-round education, one would argue. But at what cost? Is that a fair cost? And so, if we can pay, or if a lot of people are paying for that kind of quality in their secondary schools, how come it's not the same? I'm not saying they should increase school fees. Don't get me wrong. Nobody should go and say Jude said they should increase school fees in universities. No. But it begs the question, why then is it more expensive than tertiary education, which arguably is more complex? Hello, Port Harcourt. Good morning, please.
Yes. Good morning.
Good morning.
Hello?
Yes, good morning. Welcome, please.
Okay. Yes, this is an interesting topic, actually, because I've also been wondering. The figures are quite high and alarming for especially the primary schools. However, there are some points you also made that are salient. Where I work, sometimes I sometimes also interview people, and you find out that the people that are being recruited more often than not fall within certain categories of people that have graduated from certain schools.
Okay.
And they possess certain soft skills that gives them an edge over most other schools, universities, and the like. So the truth is that even though we know or we agree that some of these figures are very high, especially for these institutions, the truth is that there are some value add that you cannot take away that gives them an additional edge as compared to the other regular school graduates. So it's a two-way thing, If you're paying so much, you should assume they are getting too much. Apart from the regular curriculum and all that, there are some add-ons and soft skills. Sometimes they even teach you how to go for interviews while you're still in school. Sometimes they teach you how to make presentations to board, you get a hand idea most of these business issues while still at school. So it's just like that sometimes. Yeah. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. So, soft skills he made mention of. So maybe that could warrant some of the fees that these schools, these institutions are charging. It's not for me in particular to veto on. But what about you? Right now, listening, have you paused to wonder how much you might be paying for primary or secondary school in the next few years? In all honesty, I am doing right now. So I'm talking to you right now. My mind is just running through numbers. Do we really need to? Like someone said, if the government schools were much better managed and funded, we probably will not have these kinds of cases. However, like I said earlier on, you have private institutions all around the world, everywhere. Wherever you have a public school, you also have a private school. Hello, Port Harcourt. Good morning.
Hello.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Welcome. Oh, dear. Hello, Port Harcourt. Good morning.
Hello, Sir Jude.
Hello, good morning, please. Welcome.
Good morning. See, the angle I'm looking at it, Hello.
Yes, we can hear you. Please go on, please.
Yes. See, there's no way which amount of money will be entering your account or entering your pocket that will not have a way in which the money is spent.
Okay.
That is how God made it.
Okay.
It's just like food. When we eat food, the food goes out through physics. When we put fuel in the car, it goes out through smoke.
Okay.
So when you gather much money, the money must have a way in which the money is spent. If not, there are people that will spend all these millions and all that. At the end of the day, the child is a dummy. Hello, Sir Jude.
Yes, we'll listen to you.
Yes. There are people that are more vibrant who came from public schools. They are sound intellectually. Educationally, they are sound. When they came from public schools. So I see it as a way of the money going out from your pocket or from your account.
But the
money must be spent.
But let me ask you, if the money must be spent, if I use your analogy, so if someone has more money, right? There's a saying in this part of the world, better soup than money kill 'em, right? So it means that yes, I can make a soup, a pot of soup with 1,500 naira I can do that. But there's some people who would obviously make a pot of soup with 10,000 naira. You cannot, in all fairness, compare that person who cooks with 1,500 naira with some person who will still make the same type of soup, but he has used 10,000 naira. There's bound to be more fish, more chicken, or whatever in that broth, in that soup. Isn't that the same in this case?
You can put all these ingredients, at the end of the day, the soup has no taste.
Yes.
I have seen a multi-manager who gets soup from one of the restaurants in Port Harcourt. He bought that food at that time, 30,000 a pot of soup. Hello, the wife doesn't know how to cook.
Okay.
So he decided to buy soup from the restaurant. So he can add all these things. Yes, the person who use 1,000 to prepare a delicious soup is more better.
Okay.
Do you understand?
All right. Thank you very much. WhatsApp and Telegram right now, 0809 030 6416 is 0809 030 6416. Good morning, Jude. The fact still remains that, okay, that's our previous conversation. If parents can afford to pay this high amount for their primary school wards, they can also afford to pay £60 for schools, £60,000 for schools in Britain. Why are they complaining about the Buhari administration? Now, the reason why pre-tertiary education is expensive is the uncontrollable private school fees, and the fact is some of the products of these schools cannot compete with some products of the public schools. Right, thank you very much. Good morning, Jude. It's God's time here. You're talking about secondary schools paying high fees. Yesterday, I hear on your which is Wazobia, a nursery school in Lagos. Wow, was paying 20 million. I see it as a waste of resources because I don't see any difference between their studies and the same thing which other people are paying less fees. My brother, I cannot really tell. Jude, so what do you expect when the government is, instead of investing in government and public schools instead of investing in government schools, is owing instead of investing in government and public schools and owning a private school, you have the government letting all these things come through. I tell you, people paying such school fees are using stolen money for their children. That's a general assumption because it can't be all of them there. Morning, Jude. I weep for Nigerians, for the Nigerian school system. It was like an insult for Goodluck Jonathan, who started schooling in Otueke in Bayelsa State, to have become a president. Of course, we know how he became president. If not for that, he wouldn't be president. The Nigerian government has made it high that only the expensive school certificates are valued when it comes to hiring personnel in political offices and private sectors. That is why the rich parents send their children to schools and the poor parents can't afford. That's why corruption is still looming for everyone to meet up to standard. Kelvin Frank in Port Harcourt. Jude, I think you are missing the point. A school is a product, just like a shoe. The cost depends on the value of the functional item or luxurious item. Designer shoes are more expensive than many sports shoes. If you bought a designer shoe, you are not only paying for what that shoe can do functional, but you're also paying for the status and the product it accords. Very true. Very, very true. People pay more for schools for the purpose of separation and class, and it has nothing to do with the basic functional service that the school provides. Adedotun. All right, thank you very much. I think Adedotun has a very, very good point. If you're going to pay more, there's obviously some factors, like I made mention, right? Some of the schools are paid these huge amounts. Let us be very, very honest, right? If you get to speak to some of the children in these schools, they sound very well taught. And it's not just about them playing violins or what. No, they sound very well taught. In fact, sometimes when you are having conversations with them, and I had a conversation with a friend of mine who has children in one of these private schools in Lagos. The sons are talking to you like they understand what the laws of physics are. They're using proper tense. Their decorum is absolutely outstanding. Oh, good morning to you, Uncle Jude. It's nice to have you here. So how's work today? Can you tell me? Sometimes they call me and ask me about their homework, and I am embarrassed because I look at them, and in all honesty, I don't think I was as sound as they are now as I was when I was their age. I'm being very honest. And it's not because they have, tablets or whatnot. No, but there's obviously a huge difference. A huge difference. And it's sad. It's sad because, like this message said, it's becoming more of a class system. You're separating, and the divide is getting wider. We all know we live in a society. So no matter how highbrow a school you go to, you would still interact with people when you come out of school. How prepared are they? I don't know. Can't say. But, Good morning, Jude. I think the reason why these schools are more expensive than university is because the foundation is very important. If you look through some of the Nigerian universities, it's not unusual to find graduates who claim to be graduates who can spell properly. It's not unusual to find graduates who claim to be graduates who can speak or make proper sentences. Go to the NYSC camps, Jude, you will get to see what I mean. But the foundation is a very, very important part of our educational system. If the foundation is sorted out, it's very likely that you have a sound individual. That is why these parents are paying so much. And that is coming from Sandra. Thank you very much, Sandra. Good morning to you. All right. Hi, Jude. Greetings. Now, these amounts that you called have blown my head. My question is this. What kind of businesses are these people into? Most of these people spending these huge amounts of money, some of them politicians, and have looted our funds that are meant to be used to fix things in Nigeria. It is most miserable. Why the primary school is more expensive than university is this. The primary is the basis, and if anyone gets it right there, the person has gotten it right. The primary school is also the foundation of education. Blessing again. All right, thank you very much for that. At Nigeria Info PH, on social media. That is where you find us on Twitter and Facebook at Nigeria Info PH. All right, so jump on those platforms. Let's quickly check Twitter, see if we can get any messages there. Hello, Port Harcourt. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Welcome, please.
Yes, hello, Port Harcourt.
Hello, Port Harcourt. Welcome, please.
Yes, I want to say that the reason for the high money that the private schools charge, I'm a part of it. I have a strong experience concerning that. I have my little boy that is 5 to 6 years now.
Yes.
It's in one of the private schools within Port Harcourt here. Their salary, their school fee is high. But I am happy because my little boy of 5 to 6 years, if you see him speaking in the house, though my family is an academic family.
Okay.
At times, when I'm the one, when you pronounce a word, they will tell you that you didn't pronounce it well. A little boy of 5 to 6 years. So at times when the mother speaks, because the mother is a doctor, when the mother speaks, say, "Mommy, you are not supposed to pronounce this word." I say, "My little boy, close your mouth. You have just started to learn phonetics." So I'm happy the boy is, in short, I want to went to that school. I said, please continue to teach these children. He speaks well, a little boy, with correct English, under correct tenses and usages.
Yes.
So that is one of the reasons. But it's difficult to get that in the government school. All so right. That's why as they teach excellently, they also charge money. Thank you.
All right, thank you. As they teach excellently, they charge money. All right, our final call. Hello, Port Harcourt. Good morning.
Jude, good morning.
Good morning. Welcome, please.
I believe what is happening in this case is about class.
Class system.
Now, let me tell you, yes, this country has been divided into like 3 different classes. The ordinary, the medium, and the high. And if you check from all that is going on, it is only the high class, especially the politicians, are spending this kind of money for children in that age. Although it's not that bad, actually, but I really want to tell you that whoever that is, brainy, no matter the type of school you put that person into, you will excel. Most of us today, like you, I'm sure you attended one of your local schools. But some who are, whose parents were better off your own parents then, took their children abroad, but they cannot stand you right now. So what I'm just saying about that is just clash. I'm Shadrach Martin.
Welcome. Thank you very much for your comments, Shadrach. All right, so let's wrap up this morning. We'll take our final commercial, and when we come back, I'll read your thoughts, your final thoughts on the subject matter. Hello, Port Harcourt.